What's up, guys? Welcome to Move to Action Monday. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope that this is the best year you've ever had. But hey, listen, if it's not the best year you've ever had, that is okay. If stuff's happening that maybe this is within your control and you can do better, don't quit. Let's keep fighting. If there's stuff that's happening outside your control, things that are just bad. Maybe people are sick. Maybe somebody left. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But let's continue to move. Let's continue to do our best. Again, you don't have everything you need today to achieve your wildest dreams, but you do have enough to move. Let's mobilize, let's move to action and be world changers. We're in February. All right, so we're talking about relationships, and last week we talked about prayer, and I hope you got that prayer journal, and I hope that you're begging God specifically to move. I hope you're spending time in His Word, letting Him speak to you, because God's got massive things that He wants to spend time with you. Now, I've gotten quite a few people messaging me, telling me about things they want me to do, videos about things like that, and one of the big ones I got that was really close to me was addiction. Now, growing up, I had some little silly addictions that maybe I'll tell you one. It was so weird. At one point, I got addicted seriously to huffing gas. This is the weirdest thing. I was working the yard with my parents, and Dad sent me and Mom to go get gas for the lawnmower, and I set it in my lap. And I was like 11, and I was just smelling it because I was holding it so it didn't spill. And I got so high. I've never done any drugs, never drank alcohol, but I got so and then I got addicted to it. And I know that's silly or whatever. My dad almost killed me, which I'll tell you the full story some other time. Crazy, right? But for real, in middle school and high school, I got really addicted to pornography, and it really consumed who I was. And when it came to my relationship with God, it threw so much guilt and doubt and shame that it put this chasm between us. And the enemy not only tried to ruin my life then, but he tried to ruin my life, my marriage life with my wife Rachel. And God delivered me from that. Did some special things through some men around me. But you probably have an addiction you're struggling with. You've got something in your life that's trying to put a dividing wall between you and God. But not only that, it's trying to stop you from the full potential that God has called you to. We all struggle with addictions, and that we have to talk to each other about it. We have to be able to have victory over it. You can have victory. Listen, you wanted to turn this video off when I said addiction. You can have victory, not through your works, but through Jesus, through what God has done inside of you. You can have victory through His power. And let me read this passage, and we'll come back to addiction because it's a huge deal, and it's a lot of times it's something we need to have victory over every day. But let me read this to you. I think this is a very powerful passage. This is in Psalms 19 verses 13 and 14. It says, "Keep your servant from willfully sinning." Whatever that addiction is, he's begging God. Again, goes back to prayer. Keep your servant from willfully sinning. May they not rule over me. That is huge. You were not made to be ruled by an addiction. You were not made to be ruled by sin. You weren't made to be ruled by some relationship. You were made to be ruled by God. He's begging God, let your servant not willfully sin. Let them not rule over me, but let me be blameless, innocent of great transgression. Not be addicted to sin, whether that be drinking or pornography or whatever it might be in your life, but let me have victory. It says this, "May these words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight." This is huge. The words of my mouth, the things that you say, and the meditation of your heart, the things that you think about all the time. Because that's where the enemy gets you. We've talked a lot so far, even already. Just 7 weeks into the year, we've talked so much about our mind, so much about the things we think and the things we say. If you follow the things you think and the things you say, it'll lead you straight to what you're moving towards. Think about your thoughts. Think about your mouth. What's that moving you towards, right? That's going to tell you if you're heading towards your addiction. But let me tell you, please, God's got a better life for you than an addiction. He has victory for you. That's why Jesus came and died for you. That's why He sent the Holy Spirit, so you can live a life of freedom, not one barred, not one marred by addiction. Again, Psalms 13, keep your servant from willfully sinning. Here's what I want you to do. Here's your move to action step. I want you to read Psalms 51:12, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, Psalms 51:12, and it's David saying, "Sustain in me a willing spirit, restore to me the joy of my salvation." And I want you to pray to God to give you sustain in you a willing spirit. A willing spirit to follow God and to move to action on the things He's called you to do. This week, as you read that verse, write down the one thing that God is calling you to move to action on. The one thing that God is calling you to move to action on, and do not negotiate. Have victory over that addiction. Be the man or woman that God made you to be. You are incredible. You are fearfully, wonderfully made. I love you so much, and I know you're going to have victory. Not only are you going to have victory, but you're going to lead others to victory. I love you, and I cannot wait to see you next week.